Hello, everybody. Good morning. No, it's good morning. I just woke up. It is 12:48 p.m. It is the afternoon. Good afternoon on this Friday evening. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. And we got some movie news for you. So let's get to it. All right. As I said, how are you guys doing today? We got some movie news, just a little bit, it's a bit quicker show than usual. But without further ado, let's get on to it. The first one that I'm going to be talking about today is where's the thing? Oh, all right. Final Destination Bloodlines director reveals the original plan for Kimberly Corman's scrapped cameo. So in this movie, she was going to be I'm sorry, excuse me. In this franchise, she was in the second movie, and she was going to be in this movie, this new Final Destination Bloodlines. But they ended up cutting her, and we're going to find out why right here. All right, hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. Final Destination Bloodlines co-director Zach Lebowski. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Final Destination Bloodlines director Zach Lebowski opens up about a scrap plan to bring back AJ Cook's Kimberly Corman, the protagonist of Final Destination 2, directed by Adam Stein and Lebowski. Bloodlines is the sixth entry in the Final Destination franchise and was released in May. After finding success at the box office, having made $280 million worldwide, the movie was released on digital platforms on June 17th to be rented and owned at home. Terrible, 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 terrible choice. To have it come out on digital that early already is doing good at the box office. Like, come on, man. Why do studios keep doing this? They are killing themselves. Kimberly is one of the only people to survive death's plans, and she is still alive in the universe. They get into this in the movie, talking about how to cheat death, you actually have to die and then be resuscitated and back to life. In an interview with Screen Rant for Final Destination Bloodlines home release, Lebowski revealed that they initially were going to include a cameo for Cook's character. The director shared that in the first script, Kimberly appeared during the William Bloodworth scene, but they decided to write her out and save her return for the future to allow Tony Todd's character to take the central stage. This was his final movie. He had cancer and everything like that, so they didn't want to take away from his cameo after not he was not in the third and the fourth, but I think he was in the fifth. It could definitely work in the future. It was actually something that was essential that we essentially killed. The first draft that we had that we read had them finding Bloodworth, and then he starts to talk about Kimberly and how she came back to life, and then was like, "Here she is," and opened the door, and she came out. And it was sort of like, has she just been hiding in that room the whole time? And then it also kind of took away from the Bloodworth of it all. We kind of just felt it much better to make the movie about Bloodworth because she's the one that we're learning about in the past and all that type of stuff. And then save Kimberly for the future as that character exists out there. So there were some rumors that she had been on set. None of that was true. It was sort of an early draft of realizing that she's one of basically the only two survivors that exist. What this means for the Final Destination franchise. Despite having survived death's sinister design, Kimberly has only appeared in Final Destination 2. She and other protagonists have been mentioned throughout the franchise, but a cameo has yet to happen, with each movie featuring a new ensemble cast. So far, the only characters who have managed to appear in multiple movies are Bloodworth, Ali Larter's Clear Rivers, who appeared in the first and second movies, and obviously Kimberly. Final Destination Bloodlines connects their previously movies similarly, though through simple references. Lebowski's comments offer an explanation for why the latest installment sticks to the franchise's usual format. Tony Todd, who portrayed the mysterious Mordekin, died months after filming the 2025 horror flick. On screen, Bloodworth revealed that he's sick and was done running from death, with the character meeting his demise off screen. Bloodworth isn't returning in the future Final Destination movies. Based off of Lubitsky's comments, Kimberly will likely return and take the Mortician's place. Did I say Mordekin? The Mortician's place to guide the next group. There, the official hand. There's no other word about Final Destination 7. Despite the six entries' box office success and positive reception, it seems very possible, but it's far from confirmed. So yeah, it has made a lot of money, I will say, and it's made the most out of any franchise, and they've never anticipated it to make this much either. Um, with it though, spoilers if you haven't seen it, it's Bloodline. So like the actually, never mind. I don't want to spoil it. The movie ends in a way that the franchise could end, and that this truly is the final one. But of course, death comes for everybody. So there's always more stories that you can tell. With that, though, let me know down below. Did you want to see Kimberly in this one? Do you care if she comes back for the seventh one? Do you want to see more Final Destination movies? Did you see Final Destination Bloodlines? I did. I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's definitely one of the best ones. I'd say probably the second or third best out of the six. And so with that, let me all know all that down below. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, just let me know all that down below. Okay, moving on. We got so before the director of the Spider-Man Home franchise, we call it. He was gonna make a Fantastic Four movie. We got a Fantastic Four movie coming out this year, but I think it was in 2021. Was it? I think it was 2021, or maybe it was even Comic-Con 2019 that it was announced that John Watts had a pitch and was going to direct the Fantastic Four. Well, that's not happening. After Spider-Man No Way Home, John Watts was out of gas, but his Fantastic Four vision lives on in the MCU. With the Fantastic Four First Steps approaching its summer release, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movie's original director discusses why he departed the project. After his journey with WandaVision, Matt Shakman is rebooting Marvel's First Family for the MCU timeline since he helmed the Fantastic Four First Steps, which kicks off Phase 6 this summer. However, the plan was originally to have John Watts direct Marvel Studios' long-awaited Fantastic Four reboot in the MCU, but Watts, who had directed Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy, ended up exiting the film in April 2022, with Shakman then landing the gig in September that same year. Sorry, I got hiccups. During a recent panel at the Mediterranean Film Festival with Collider Stephen Weintraub, as the moderator, Watts got candid about stepping away from the Fantastic Four First Steps after having worked on Spider-Man No Way Home. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, Watts admitted that he didn't feel he was the filmmaker to bring the Fantastic Four back to the big screen and shared the following. The emotional strain of having to go through all those COVID protocols while also trying to make something creative, while also trying to make sure that your cast and crew were all safe. Literally, people could have died if you did this wrong. That and the post-production process was very difficult. When you're doing visual effects work, there's a whole international component to it where you're using vendors from all over the world, and the supply chain had been interrupted because of COVID. It was really hard to get effects done in a traditional way. Yes, with that, they released this movie with VFX not done. They had to work on it, and then like a couple months later, they sent out new shipments of the little like of the digital thing or the film reel. I don't know what it is, but they had to send new ones out. By the time No Way Home was done and out, I went in to back. Wait, what the fuck? I went in to get back into the story for Fantastic Four. I was like, I'm out of gas. The COVID layer on top of it, making a giant movie layer on top of making a giant movie layer. I knew I didn't have what it would have taken to make the movie great. I was just so out of steam, so I just needed to take some time to recover. Everyone at Marvel totally understood. They had been through it all with me as well, so they knew how hard and draining that experience had been. In the end, very satisfying, but at some point, if you can't do it at the level that you feel like you need for it to be great, then it's better to not do it. So I am of two minds with this. Sometimes I just think, hey man, you made a commitment, you got to follow through. If you need to take a break, then just tell them to postpone the movie. It's not like the movie came out any sooner. You still got 3 years. So with that, that kind of sucks. I would have liked to have seen John Watts's vision, but at the same time, I also respect and admire the fact. Oops. I also respect and admire the fact that he's just like, hey, yeah, this movie's not going to be good if I go through with it right now. So it's best to give it to someone else. So I get that, and that's fine. Like I said, I'm of two minds about it. Let me know what you think about it. Watts went on to add, I can't wait to see it though. I'm very excited. Then when he was asked about whether any of his original ideas made it into Fantastic Four: First Steps, Watts elaborated, I don't know exactly what happens in it, but I've seen the trailers. I've heard a couple things, and I think it's pretty close to what we had initially come up with in our story. God dang, I got trim my mustache. It's vibrating and tickling me. Obviously, it evolves and adapts over time, but the main villain, the basic threat, the broad strokes, the retro futurism version of Fantastic Four, is going to be a totally surreal experience for me to go and watch that movie. So it sounds like he's got full support of Max Shackman, and he hopes the best for the movie. And yeah, so with that, what do you think about this? Did you wish that John Watts would have followed through and directed this movie? Are you excited for what we're about to see with Matt Shackman's The Fantastic Four? Is there somebody else that you would like to see take on the Fantastic Four? Let me know all that down below. Okay, sticking with the John Watts of it all, Star Wars Skeleton Crew Season 2 is teased by the showrunner along with a possible movie. John Watts is the showrunner, I believe. He might not be the showrunner, but he's like co-creator. Star Wars Skeleton Crew showrunner John Watts, okay, what's John Watts, has dropped an exciting Season 2 tease, potentially even hinting at a spin-off movie. It's been over 6 months since Star Wars Skeleton Crew Season 1 introduced viewers to the planet at Aden, with a group of young travelers traveling the galaxy. Speaking with Collider Steve Weintraub in the Mediterranean Film Festival, showrunner John Watts dropped what certainly seems to be a hint about Star Wars Skeleton Crew Season 2. I love Star Wars. I would love to make more Star Wars. I can't say anything more. We always get in trouble when we do these interviews. I always say something and I get in trouble. Like, I probably shouldn't have said that. You're going to get me into trouble. When asked about the future of Star Wars, which always seems up in the air, he stressed he felt confident, not least because of the people he worked with on Skeleton Crew are now working on their own movies. The two people that I worked with, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, as my main producers on Skeleton Crew, both made Star Wars movies. Well, Dave hasn't made his yet. Favreau's made his, so I know that's for sure. So I was like, so it was like, if we have something we want to make, we're gonna make it. I don't know about the rest of the development process and the people who come in and how large how large the Star Wars universe is, but at least in our little umbrella of Star Wars, our corner of the Star Wars sandbox, we were able to do things. Even if I worked on a Star Wars thing and it never happened, it's really fun to just use your imagination and make up fun things that could happen in Star Wars. So, Skeleton Crew is one of the better shows that has come out in the Star Wars time. It is very kiddie and childish though. I wish it was more like not adult like Andor, but a more adult in just the sense that it wasn't trying to relate to kids. It was just a Star Wars movie being a Star Wars movie. Like a lot of people hate the prequels, but hey, it was just a movie with the Force and lightsabers. Like, it's cool. Um, so I wish they had more of that. I think there's a way that they can connect this Skeleton Crew bunch to the Ryan Gosling Starfighter movie. It could take place in that part of the galaxy. They can meet up together. Now, Ryan Gosling takes place in the future after episode 9, but these kids would be in their 40s. So maybe one of them is Ryan never mind. But maybe that one of them is Ryan Gosling that they meet later on or something like that. So I think there's a way that they can connect Skeleton Crew to Starfighter and have that whole thing kind of join in or just be a different part of the galaxy. So I would I watch a season 2 of Skeleton Crew? Yes. Am I excited for it? No, I mean, not necessarily. It is what it is. But with that, let me know down below. Did you like Skeleton Crew? Would you like to see a season 2 or a spin-off movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I thought this whole time my mic was muted. Thank God it wasn't. Okay. Next up, the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT, or whatever that meme is. Steven Spielberg says, I have no plans ever to retire at the Universal Theater dedication. An A-list roster of creators and old allies join NBC Universal's Donna Langley and Comcast's bigwigs in serenading Spielberg's legacy before touring an exhibit of the never-before-seen movie Mementos. Later, he told THR the one genre he'd still love to tackle is Westerns. Not far from where the replica of Jaws never stops snapping or the Jurassic Park ride is always draws the long line at Universal's LA theme park, the filmmaker behind some of the other most iconic titles in Hollywood studio history, Steven Spielberg found himself the main attraction Thursday night as the state-of-the-art theater on the adjacent studio lot was dedicated in his honor. Hold on, let's see. It's not just a place that's founded on this extraordinary legacy, but it is a place of future and hopes and dreams of filmmakers, of storytellers who are you going of storytellers who you are going to take to this company in the next 100 years. And after in 100 years after that, what the fuck? Said NBC Universal Entertainment Chairman Donna Langley, extolling Spielberg's impact, not just on the studio with whom he's enjoyed a rare 50 plus year relationship. That was where I had a hiccup. I tried to take it away. Uh, but also his impact on the world of movies and Hollywood. The roster of notable executives, celebrities, old allies, and creators on hand to celebrate Spielberg's legacy included Langley's bosses, Comcast CEO Brian Roberts and President Mike Cavanaugh, as well as the actors ranging from John Travolta, Vin Diesel, to Seth Rogen, Coleman Domingo, Dakota Fanning, Jeff Goldblum, and Goonies stars Ke Huy Quan and Jeff Cohen, as well as writer-directors such as John M. Chu, Daniels, and Kevin Williamson. There's a little picture of them there. Goonies never say die, but Ke Huy Quan and Jeff Cohen do gush their idol Steven Spielberg as they walk through an exhibit celebrating his career at Universal. Spielberg has witnessed many a change of fortune for the studio during his multi-decade tenure, but he described its current state as a rebirth. And I don't mean Jurassic Rebirth opening July 2nd. He quipped, plug in the latest installment in the blockbuster franchise he created and continues to produce. He also described the changes in the studio's corporate owners over the decades of as a time of many fathers, not of all which were so great, but in the Comcast era, he said he finds himself back in a loving family and thanked Langley, Roberts, and Cavanaugh. Let's see, is there a video of it? Okay, let's watch the video of it because I don't want to read this shit.
Just know that I love all of you, and I'm making a lot of movies, and I have no plans ever to retire.
All right, so with that too, it's like he still's got his wits about him. He's what, 80 something, 85. Let's see. Hold on. Let me take a look. Steven Spielberg age. He's 78. Okay. He's 78, but hey man, he's 78 and he's walking around like he's 50. So, I mean, good for him. As long as he keeps making movies, that's awesome. He's got a new one, a new sci-fi movie coming out. I think it's next year. And the last movie he made was The Fablemans. It was like a semi oh my gosh, stupid hiccups. It was like a semi biopic. And that movie was awesome. It was really good. So I'm always excited when a Steven Spielberg movie comes out. Even his duds are still pretty good movies. They're way better than anything, not anything, but it's way better than the duds that are made today. I'll tell you that much. So with that, let me know down below. What do you think about Steven Spielberg saying he will never retire, following the lines of Kathleen Kennedy saying she'll never retire? Are you excited for his next movie coming out? Did you see his last movie, The Fablemans? And what is your favorite Steven Spielberg movie? Let me know down below. Going into our second to last article of the day, the Batman co-star Paul Dano, who played the Riddler, to write and direct a high-concept comedy with the Daniels set to produce. The Daniels are the guys that did not Midnight Summer, Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? Deadline reports that Paul Dano is set to return to the director's chair with a new high concept original comedy. What was the first thing that he directed? For Universal Pictures, which will reunite him with Daniel Kwan and Daniel Shiner, Daniel S., the directing duo known as the Daniels, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is a bit of a reunion as Dano starred alongside Daniel Radcliffe in the Danielses. There's a lot of Daniels and Danos and Swiss Army Man nearly a decade ago. Wow, that was already 10 years ago. Jesus. Dano plays a man stranded on a desert island who has given up all hope of ever making home again, but everything changes when he befriends a corpse, Daniel Radcliffe, who washes ashore. The plot details for the new comedy are being kept under wraps, but Dano will write and direct the project. The Daniels will produce through their Playgrounds banner alongside partner Jonathan Wang. Dano made his directorial debut with Wildlife, a drama about a teenage boy who must deal with his mother's complicated response after his father temporarily abandons them and takes a menial and dangerous job. The film starred Carey Mulligan, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Ed Oxenbould. The film received rave reviews when it premiered in 2018 Sundance Film Festival, but our own Chris Bumbray wasn't completely enamored with the movie. Dano's eye as a director is good, and for a first film, it's assured. I'm sure he made exactly the movie he wanted to make, but it's hard to sit through when you're not patient. A thing that's tougher to be at a fest when you're seeing 4 to 5 movies a day. Well, what the fuck? That's the whole reason why you go there, Bumbray. You fucking bum. Some empathy was needed to make this able to connect to an audience, and Wildlife has been totally drained of that feeling. Dan knows his chops as a director, that's for certain, and it's a well-made, well-acted film, but it's also slow and hard to watch. I prefer my films a little less clinical, but one can't deny what it does, what it set out to do. You can check out the rest of the review right here. As for the Daniels, they're hardworking, developing up their follow-up to Everything Ever All at Once, but the project is still a mystery. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? The guy that plays Riddler, he also in what was it? She's Out of My League. He played Klitz with a K. This guy's gone on to do great things in Hollywood. He's set to direct his second movie. Did you see his first movie, Wildlife? I have not, but I'm going to now. And let me know. Does this sound interesting to you in any way? I mean, there's not much there, but what do you think about him partnering up with the guys that did Everything Everywhere All at Once for his new movie? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, and our last article for today. Oh man, well, I was talking about goats earlier, right? The goat. Okay, Michael Bay is returning to the Transformers franchise 8 years after his last $600 million sequel failed. To be fair, almost every Transformer movie has failed ever since the third one. And the second one sucks story-wise. I mean, they're all not the best story, but still. Michael Bay is officially returning to the driver's seat of the Transformers franchise with a new report confirming he is developing a movie for Paramount that he intends to direct. According to insider Matthew Bologna, Bay is making significant comeback to the series. He turned into a global phenomenon 8 years after stepping away following the release of 2017's Transformers The Last Knight. The development marks a major reversal for Bay, who had previously sworn off directing Transformers movies after the disappointing financial performance of his last entry. The new reports also reveal that writer Jordan Vandina is attached to write the screenplay for the project. Let's see. Bay's return to the fold. Hold on. I want to get to this real quick. Bay's return to the fold has reportedly been in motion since last year when the director initiated discussions with Paramount to re-engage with the franchise as a hands-on producer with the possibility of directing. According to Bologna, this reunion stems from a mutual need. And the year since Bay's departure, the Transformers series has experienced a notable decline in box office revenue. At the same time, Bay has had difficulty getting his own large-scale projects off the ground. Still, this new Bay film is only one of several Transformers projects being explored at Paramount, which is also developing a live-action movie from Transformers 1 director Josh Cooley and a potential crossover with the G.I. Joe property. Wait, I thought F. Gary Gray was doing the next live action one. What? Okay. Michael Bay wants to make another Transformers movie, and Paramount has to start production by 2029 to keep the rights. Okay, let's see what this says on X. This comes to us from Nick Field, whoever that is. And on X. Bay misses this is like bullet point things. Bay misses the bots and the mega bucks. Did you know that Michael Bay is developing a new Transformers movie? Okay, blah blah. He had sworn off directing the franchise since his Shia LaBeouf free Transformers Last Night earned just $600 million in 2017, big, but about half the gross of the previous installment. Yet the franchise had atrophied without Bay, and he himself has not reached those box office heights since, even complaining recently about not being able to get movies greenlit. Bay approached the studio last year to come back as a hands-on producer and possibly a director, and he's got writer Jordan Vandina to work on the script. It's one of 5 or so Transformers projects in development that David Ellison and Skydance will inherit if/when the Paramount sale closes. Josh Cooley, who made last year's Transformers animated film Transformers 1, just closed a deal to pursue a live-action take. There's also a possible G.I. Joe Transformers crossover in development, and the studio has 2 separate ideas in early stages. Hopefully, the Bay project will come together. It really is the perfect match of filmmaker material, and Paramount can take its time. The studio keeps the rights as long as the movie's in production by 2029. Okay, so here's actually what I have to say about this. There's a couple things. All right, so number 1. Let me go here. The worst Michael Bay movies that performed in the box office were the first one and the 5th one. The first one and the 5th one, Transformers 1 and Transformers The Last Knight, or not Transformers 1, Transformers, the first movie, made a combined total of 1.3 billion, just those two movies. After that, after The Last Night, we've had Bumblebee, we've had Rise of the Beast, and we've had the animated Transformers 1. We've had 3 Transformers movies after Transformers The Last Night, the last Michael Bay movie. Combined, those 3 movies were 1.03. So the worst Michael Bay movies made more than arguably the better Transformers movies that have come out since. Rise of the Beast was good. It was pretty much a sequel to Bumblebee, but it was still good. Bumblebee was great. And Transformers 1, the cartoon that came out last year, was fantastic. That movie got fucked. So, do I blame Paramount for going back to Michael Bay and Michael Bay going back to Paramount? No. It's like when you can't get out of a toxic relationship. Shit's annoying as fuck, but the sex is great. So, we get the sex of the Transformers with Michael Bay. And so with that, he's like, hey, man, you guys have made money. I can't get shit made. Let's make another one together and blow shit up and make some money. Now, given that his box office had an incline and then a decline, it doesn't change the fact that even his worst performing solo movie of Transformers The Last Night still made almost $1.50 worth of what these last, particularly the 2 live action movies, and it made 6 times as much as the last movie that Paramount released. So, is this a dying franchise, or did Michael Bay already have it in the gutter from the last couple crappy movies that he had, and then it made a bad influence on all the other movies? There's many different ways to work around this. And one other thing though that I wanted to get to was Josh Cooley, the guy that directed Transformers 1. If you guys have not seen Transformers 1, get Paramount Plus, get the free month or whatever, and watch Transformers 1. That movie's really good. And it's the origin. It's all robots. There's no humans. But if he wants to make a jump to live action, here's what I think Paramount should do. They should greenlight the Michael Bay one. And then they should greenlight the G.I. Joe crossover one that was teased at the end of Rise of the Beast. Have 2 different directors, have the Michael Bay do the Michael Bay movie, and bring back, I believe it was F. Gary Gray. That I don't want to be wrong on this. Hold on, let me double check real quick. Rise of the Beast director. Oh, Stephen Cable Jr. That's right. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was F. Gary Gray. Stephen Cable Jr. Yes. So have Michael Bay do Transformers. I guess it would be his 6th Transformers movie, and have Stephen Cable Jr. do the crossover, the G.I. Joe crossover that they teased. You can do them different times or take 4 or 5 years in between. You have it at the same time. Doesn't really matter. But on those movies, have Josh Cooley be the 2nd unit director, so that way he learns from both of these guys that are familiar with the Transformers franchise, and he can then adapt what he knows from animation and what he's learned from both Michael Bay and Stephen Cable Jr., and then go on to make his live action Transformers. It won't be for at least another 10 to 15 years from now, but at least he'll still get that live action experience with Transformers in particular. Now, going back to bringing back Michael Bay, I don't disagree with this. I think that, like I said earlier, his movies made money way more than the other ones, way more than all the other movies. Whether it's a bad story or not, or a bad movie or not, it doesn't matter. The studio sees money, and he's made them the most money. So, and also at the same time, it's Michael Bay, dude. You get hot chicks, cool cars, and cool explosions, motherfuckers are going to go show up to the theaters. That's one thing that I will say the last couple live action movies didn't have. Granted, one did have Haley Steinfeld, but she had an 80s haircut. It was no Haley Steinfeld from Sinners. And I mean, the Sinners press tour. So, hey, man, Michael Bay could do it. If anybody could do it, it's Michael Bay. You get busty babes, sick cars, and a cool explosion, and you're locked in. And also, Shia LaBeouf, he's gone through his like up and downs in his career, whatnot. Bring him back. Bring him back. He does like little indie projects now, but hey, man, bring him back. Why not? What harm would it do to either of them at this point in their career? Come on. So, with that being said, let me know down below, what do you think about Michael Bay coming back to the Transformers franchise? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Are you going to see it? Do you think he killed the franchise so bad that that's why these last few movies haven't performed and his next movie is still just going to do just as bad as these most recent ones? Let me know all your thoughts down below. All right, and that is it for today, you guys. I want to thank you for those that tuned into the show, those that are watching on the replay. Please be sure to like and subscribe. For every 100 subscribers that I get, I will be doing a subathon marathon stream. I'm at 97 subs, so I only need 3 more to get to my first 100. Every 100, I will do it. I will always start at a 12-hour marathon no matter what. If I get subs throughout those 12 hours, then I will extend it for every 5 subs or whatever. I'll extend it a half hour or whatever it may be. But in order to get that going, I got to get to the 100 first. I'm only 3 away. So if you see this, please be sure to like and subscribe if you want movie news, MMA news, movie reviews on my Crosstalks and Movies channel. That's where I post all my movie reviews, and I will have reviews out for F1 and Megan 2.0. I'm going to try to get them done by today. And on my Crosstalks MMA, I'll do theories for what I think are going to be coming up in fighting and fight cards. I'll do clips from all the from the live streams that I do and put them there. So be sure to sub to those channels, those sub channels as well. And with that, again, this is today's episode of Crosstalks Movies or Crosstalks Live Movie News. And let's see, I got some time. Let's see if there's any breaking news actually right now. Movie news, breaking news. Let's see if there's anything there. Michael Bay. Oh, they talked about that. Okay, so I was kind of early on the Michael Bay stuff. All right, it doesn't look like there's much. Let's see who usually has the best ones. Let's see Hollywood Reporter. Nothing too crazy. So that was it for today. I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that comes out over the weekend, but again, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. In particular, if you like watching live shows, I love doing these live ones. I would love to make a career out of this, but I need subs. I need a way to find a way to make money within this. So this channel's got to grow, and so do the other ones. I love talking about movies. I love talking about fighting. I would love to make a career out of this, be here every single day and talk to people in the live chat, talk to people in the comments, whatever it may be. So please be sure to like and subscribe so I can keep this channel growing and start making some money. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful Friday and a great rest of your afternoon. And I will see you guys I will be back on Sunday to do movies of the week live. It'll be another live show where I'll go over the movies. I'll do a mini review on the movies that I've seen this week, which will be F1 and Megan 2.0. And then I will go over the box office of the weekend. And then I'll go over where all these movies are worldwide, where the best ranked movies are not best ranked, but the movies that have made the most money so far this year. I'll go over that. And then I'll go over the upcoming movies of the week. So that will be on Sunday. And I will be back Monday to do movie news live as well as MMA news live. So again, for the last time today, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'd love to make a career out of this and make money talking about movies and MMA. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching.